I want you bad as ever.
Don't let me go better. I wanna give you better. Baby, it's whatever.
I'm sorry, I just laughed into the mic. I hope I didn't kill their ears.
No, I think it was like a soft laugh. Okay, you ready? Time for the theme song.
Back at it again.
With the white vans.
I'm sorry.
All the Facebook moms are never going to know any TikTok references that we make.
Ain't it crazy that one day we'll be Facebook moms?
I'm never going to be a Facebook mom.
Please, you'll be right out there with your handsomeness.
Oh, my handsomeness. Oh my gosh.
Please don't do your kids like that.
I might. I won't. I promise. Okay, hold on. There we go. Anyway, so welcome to the Safe Space Podcast. I'm here with my co-host,
Aicha Sabara, and here with my lovely co-host,
Sydney Rosant.
We're missing our third musketeer.
We are. We miss her dearly.
We really do miss her dearly. She is recovering right now from the COVID. So everybody, pass your well wishes on to our lovely Lauryn. And she'll be right back.
She will. Right, I mean, I don't know when we're gonna film again, but
it's okay.
She'll be back doing her thing, her nursing school thing. You know,
exactly. Period. And we'll be back on our grind. It's fine.
You may have noticed that we've been gone, but that's because we have other things to do.
And I hope you guys
lives.
did notice. I want to be on your minds.
They did.
No, they did. No,
they were like, "Where did you guys go?"
I was like,
I'm like, babes, we're struggling.
We're going through it. Speaking of struggling, so how was your semester? Because I think our last episode was like summer, right before.
It was great vibes.
It was great vibes. We were really killing it.
Yeah, but my semester was. Let's never have a semester like that ever again.
No, never. I'm so sorry, but if 2022 is going to be on that energy, I will simply have to leave.
It's one of those unfortunate things. Well, how was your semester?
Well, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't great either. Once again, like roller coaster. Yeah. For real. So
I just feel like this is one of those years where I feel like a lot of changes are happening. And they're happening just very fast. And I'm just like not here for it that much. But like also like I guess in the end, things are supposed to work out apparently.
In the end, supposedly it's supposed to get better from here, but like it's also supposed to get worse as like life goes on.
I don't know, like the way 2022 is looking, I already told everybody I will be I will not be going out on New Year's. Like don't even ask, because I will be in my room literally on my knees praying the whole time. I'm being so serious.
I will also be
I'm not even going to watch the ball drop.
You're not going to watch the ball drop, like, period?
No, because I watched the ball drop last year and I didn't do anything.
Okay, but you watched the ball drop, like,
have to
every year.
No, but this is different. We're in a different dimension, okay?
We
need to
transcend it into a different world.
Yes, and we need to act accordingly.
I don't know if that like means to just not watch the punch.
I feel like that's the simplest we have to do everything differently than we have previously.
But what if that sets us up for like even more failure?
Okay, well then 2023 we have to regroup.
I feel like we need to do exactly what we did 2018 New Year's Eve, because 2019 was a good year.
I can't, because the people I was friends with back then I'm not friends with anymore, and I don't want to. Like they have to go.
My New Year's Eve party is actually going to be like a rehash.
The absolute most shade. But anyway.
The funniest thing is I just didn't notice it.
Yeah, whatever.
Like at all. I thought you were joking.
No, I'm not.
It's okay.
I just like casually just. I don't know why I'm like this. Anyways, let's get into our topic.
Okay, so what's our lovely topic of the day?
So I feel like our topic. Well, not feel like our topic of the day is just like our thoughts on like marriage and things surrounding that sort of stuff. So what is marriage like a milestone for you? Is that something that you're like, I got to accomplish it, or What is that?
I don't know if it's like I must accomplish it. There's not like a necessity for it, but there's a very high want for it. Like at some point I do want to be married. And at some point I do want like a family. So like I would consider it a milestone because that's like a big moment in your life. The minute you're like, yeah, I'm marrying this person, like we supposed to sit and look at each other for the rest of our lives. Like your face is the one I'm gonna keep seeing
forever. Literally
maybe
until
I don't want that.
literally until you die.
Literally, that's what, until death do us part. In sickness and in health.
That's kind of crazy.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if there's anybody other than my parents that I've seen that often. Like, period. You know? So it's like I do feel like regardless on like your thoughts of marriage, it is a milestone. But I also don't think it's for everyone. There are some people who just like marriage is not in the books for them. I would like to hope that it's in the books for me though. How about you?
Yeah, I feel like I've acknowledged that I don't necessarily have control over marriage the same way that I would like graduating from college or like getting a job. Yeah. And so because I like relinquished control, I feel like I feel very untethered from the like idea of marriage that much. So it's like, wow, I would love to be married. And like, obviously like I like have the dream wedding and everything. Yeah. It's also like, there's just so many parts at play that I don't control. And I feel like it's better to also feel good enough to be single forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like people can say like, oh, well, like, what are you going to do? Just be around your brother family? Precisely. Like if I'm single forever, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Like Auntie Sydney will be doing
Cindy will be on
her. Cause you can see me being the rich aunt. Like I feel like I could.
Well, you're gonna be the rich aunt to my kids anyways.
That's what I'm saying. Like very much.
It's not like the end of the world.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm not like that pressed about it.
I also feel like the time that we're living in, we live in a completely different societal norm. Oh, totally where like different. It's completely okay. And sometimes somewhat expected for people to be like living a bachelor lifestyle
forever.
Like we've like passed that generation in which like this is what we've like raised you to be. And you might relate to it in some aspect because we're both like raised by parents who were not from here. Like everything I did growing up, it was like to like make me a better person, but also to like make me stable enough that if I were in a situation like that, I know what to do.
So basically, to clarify, you feel like you were almost raised to be a wife or a mother? Obviously not just a wife and just a mother. I feel like
it's definitely ingrained in a part of the culture that I was raised into. Because it's very like between being Muslim and then being raised by like African parents who were born in like the 1970s by very like conservative families. That's like what a woman's purpose was. And so it's like my parents have definitely strayed away from the idea because my father wouldn't even like to think about me being in the same room as somebody of the opposite gender, let alone marrying them. But like the ideals have definitely shifted. And I feel like a lot of that is because of me and like the disdain that I've held for so long. I'm like, my parents used to try to make me cook. And I literally told my mom, I was like, the reason I don't like cooking is not because you wanted me to know how to cook to support myself. It's because you wanted me to know how to cook so I could cook for a man. And will I? Sure, maybe. Do I want that to be the reason why I know how to cook? No. I want it to be so I can be self-sufficient.
Period.
And like that mentality comes from where they were raised. And I feel like that was so ingrained in our society. So now that we're not in a place where that's the norm, where that's expected of you, it's so different. Does that make sense?
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I think for me, I feel like I was definitely raised to be very self-sufficient. So I think like learning how to cook and clean is like, if you're going to be on your own, you have to know those things. But also on the flip side, like I do think that my parents want me to be a capable like wife and mother. So it's like, you do need to know how to clean, obviously. You do need to know how to cook, obviously. So I do feel like for like, I'm not sure if this is just an African thing, but I do feel like for like my friends who are not African, like it kind of varies. Like I feel like some of them, I'm like, when they talk about marriage, I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna do it because, babe,
yeah, no, I'm like,
how are you going to be
enough to live on your own before? Like, considering
you want to go cohabitate with another human.
Are you
like,
sure
I want no
that?
parts. I will not be coming over to your house. Y'all will come over to mine.
Y'all will come to mine, and you will leave everything at the door.
No, seriously, keep your shoes off. No, what you're tracking inside. But yeah, no, I just can't. Sometimes I can't see it. Okay, but for you, who you really, really want to get married,
yeah,
how much? What are you willing to like give to get married? Like, would you move states not just to get married, but to date?
To date,
yeah.
Like,
hear me out. I wish I did some research on this, but like, let's say I'm gonna pick a random. I'm gonna pick. On here, all right, pick like a city where like a major city that
like
has the most.
City?
No, that has like the most like marriages, or just look at like best city to date in America, and see what pops up. If Atlanta pops up, I'm gonna be so mad.
I'm gonna cry.
Like, this can't be it.
I'm seeing number 1 right now is giving New York. Okay, so we're asking best city for singles to like get into a relationship, or best like what exactly are we asking?
I feel like let's just do best singles to like find like a relationship. Like, which city are you most likely to find a relationship in?
For some reason I'm seeing different answers, but I'll give you like the top 3. Okay. I'm seeing dating satisfaction for this one. It's quote unquote rated number 2, but it's 100% dating satisfaction, and supposedly it's Boston.
That makes a lot of sense.
Did you care to elaborate?
No.
On why it makes no. Yeah.
I did. I definitely I told you so. I told you.
Yeah, why is it saying Atlanta? Hold on.
That's not true. Lies. That's not true.
Best city. I'm gonna change my search. Best city for singles. Should I say single women?
Yeah, do that.
Women.
What if you say put single black women? I want to see what it says. I feel like it's gonna put like Atlanta, and then be like the DMV area.
Black DMV area.
There's a lot of black people over there.
Really?
Yes, and doing well. I'm not going there though. You might, because you want to do all your politicking and whatnot.
I don't want to go.
Why am I acting like I don't also want to
I'm
be
seeing Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Baltimore.
That's DMV.
What's going on in Raleigh, North Carolina?
Raleigh.
Is it Raleigh?
Did you say Raleigh? Girl, we can get you out the house.
Anyways.
No, North Carolina.
Sorry, it's my inner African.
North Carolina is cool apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've been there in passing. Even South Carolina is kind of chill.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the people there are pretty.
Okay. Now you're very family oriented. So basically, we just did this whole search because my question is, would you move not for just a job? Because like if marriage is a milestone that like we want to complete, right?
Yeah.
You should or want to put yourself in the best position to find someone. And if these places, let's use Boston for an example, because it's the farthest away.
Okay.
Honestly, you should come to Boston because I'm in Rhode Island.
I like Boston. It's one of my favorite places.
So would you move not for just a job? Like, let's say, you could get a job anywhere pretty much. Okay. Like, all of that is like,
I'm going to need you to give me like a scenario because I'm not seeing it in my head. What you're saying is just kind of like
literally,
now.
Okay, you tell your mom, Mama Sabara, hey mom, I'm moving to Boston. And she's like, Aicha, why? and you're like, because this is the best, has the highest relationship satisfaction, and I I feel like it's the best place for me to meet my husband.
She might kill me.
But think about it though. Think about it. Think about all the things. I think
she'd rather me go to Senegal before do that.
Really?
I'm so serious. I mean, I feel like if I told her, if it was something I really, really wanted, but like, I know I'm saying like, it's like a milestone. It's something I want. But I don't know if I wanted enough to displace myself, put myself in a completely different area. Like, I feel like that's going to come naturally, like just because of the job that I want to go into. Like, I'm like, I've already said it in the beginning when we first started filming, but I'm going into international affairs and probably down the path of like a diplomat or a lawyer, a criminal justice lawyer. So I'm going to have to move around. And I almost feel like moving around for anything other than like maybe like work. Like, are we talking like to meet somebody, or I've met somebody, they live there?
To meet someone.
I don't think I do it.
To increase your chances.
I don't think I do it because what's the guarantee that my chances are actually like higher in like some random...
I mean,
like,
me personally, I think they would be in Boston.
I think they probably
compared
would be
to here.
Yeah, I
compared
agree.
To here, but like, I'm just saying that I feel like everybody like says for the most part like that they would want to be married, and like even the people who are like I really really want to be married, but we don't actually want it that bad.
I don't want it bad enough to.
We don't want it that bad because like, if you want it that bad, you'd be on a plane.
I feel like I'm on like a different part of the spectrum, and that makes sense, because I've met people who like I've asked them, I'm like, hey, what do you want to be in life? And they've literally told me I want to be a housewife. Like that is their goal. Like it's not even like I would be content being a housewife. I'd be okay just being at home with kids. Yeah, it's like I want to be a housewife. That is my goal. Maybe if you're talking to one of them, but
I'm not gonna lie, usually the people who say that are so it's like you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
They already have their candidates like in the high school that they went to. Like,
no, I feel like I will say if I did move, I do think my odds would be higher, especially at like a younger age. If I wanted to get married in like mid-20s, but I don't know if I can imagine just like. I don't think I've reached a point where I want it that badly. Nah.
I think I would probably do something crazy like that, but that just gives off that energy. Like if I got sick and tired of where I was and I was like meeting people and I didn't like
spontaneously getting up and leaving, but I couldn't see you doing it for like.
No, I would.
To find.
Not necessarily like to find like my husband, but literally just being like, I don't like the vibe of where I'm at. I don't like the people I'm meeting and I'm gonna leave.
Interesting. I don't know. I might just be very comfortable where I'm at because this is the only place I've really known. Yeah. And I do think, like, I'm going to be up north at some point. I'm going to be, who knows? I might not even be in the United States. But I don't know if I would just move to find, like love.
As a young person, I feel like...
I mean, it's the best
I think
time
people should probably... I feel like people should probably consider it more than...
I feel like that's something that's been so unfathomable.
You said what?
I feel like that's something that people find kind of unfathomable.
They do, but yet it's a milestone that we equate to the likes of finding a good job.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I just have never thought about it like
graduating
that.
college. So I feel like it is something like if you really, really want it. Like, let's say my mind does change. I really, really want it. Yeah, I totally will move. And if it didn't work there, I'll move somewhere else. Find them and bring them back here.
You're coming with me. I'm not staying here. I don't know. You really gave me something to think about because I've never thought about doing something like that. Like ever.
No, I think it's an interesting thought because if we put so much weight on it, like people really dream like of like their dream wedding, the dream everything, but it's like okay, all just dreaming, but where's the action?
Maybe if I hadn't already been set on a job that was going to take me to so many different places, like a lifestyle. Because, like, I know that in my path, there's studying abroad. There's moving for internships, for jobs.
So you're going to be in different places regardless.
So maybe in my mindset, I was like, I'm going to go to one of these places and who knows what I'll find. maybe I'll see something there. And I already knew it was going to be more of like an accepting area.
I don't even know if I call it me going to find something. It's just like I need to make sure that I'm available in the area so that they can find me.
You're just like
just like outside. Just making sure. I did half the battle. That's half the battle.
Half the battle. Now you do the rest of the way.
Precisely.
No, you really gave me something to think about because I don't know. That's like scary to think about. Like I've like accepted a lifestyle where I'm going to like be moving around. I might live in third world countries, but that thought just scared me.
I don't know. I just think
like,
it's something
you're like
everybody
really putting yourself out there. I don't know,
but isn't that what you kind of have to do if you want to get married? At this point, you have to put yourself out there,
especially in the circumstances.
Yeah,
that we live in.
Not great for us.
Ask me that question again at the end of the episode. I need to ponder.
I got you.
Because that's almost like baffling to me.
Wow. Like how many times have you heard people be like, "Oh my gosh, like the guys here are awful." Then go somewhere else.
I said
then go somewhere else.
No, I mean you have a point though. Like,
like if it's so bad, like if marriage matters, right?
Yeah.
Then if you're in an area where the guys stink, then kind of low key the quality of your life is gonna dropping. Yeah, because you're not finding the type of companionship. And it's like I'm not even saying that people here are awful. It's just I haven't seen the people. Had some technical difficulties, but we're back now.
Back to the topics we were discussing. Did you have another question?
Oh, well, the question that we asked before, my phone just decided to just do whatever it wanted. Literally. Is basically along the lines of like, not just is it possible, because of course it's possible to find your, true love over Tinder. But do you think our generation is doing enough?
It depends on the goals of the people in the generation. I mean, if their goal is to just kind of straight vibe, meet people, go through life, have experiences, yeah, I think they're doing enough. If that's not their goal, and you're talking to somebody who is very much more like marriage oriented, and that's what they want, no, I don't. I don't think we're willing to do. I feel like our generation as a whole is kind of rather sheltered.
Very.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if that has to do with the aftermath of like the time period in which we like grew up in. I feel
like we were in a very
chaotic time.
Well, I actually feel like it was more very controlled. I feel like now is more chaotic because I feel like kids have more access to just like all kinds of information. But like
we do, yeah.
We had access, we didn't really have access, and I don't think like as a child, at least I can only really speak for myself. I didn't understand the extent of like the internet until I was maybe in the 7th or 8th grade.
I didn't either, and it definitely very much scared me. Like things like, I don't know if you had like Kick. Stuff like random stuff. I had
Kick, but I wasn't.
Scared me.
I wasn't on Kick the way you guys were on Kick. That's all I'm gonna say.
You guys don't group me in there. Don't group me in there.
The way some of y'all were on Kick, I was not on Kick like that.
Yeah, no, I feel like I completely agree. I didn't understand the full extent of the internet. I feel like to some extent I still don't, because it went from being something that was like controlled and monitored by like the government to like now anybody can have access to it.
Yeah, no, the internet's definitely chaotic. Like,
and anybody can have access to like anything that's going on your phone, your end. Like, I feel like we have more access. I feel like we have more access to like knowledge because we have the internet. But like, I feel like because of that, and because it was something that was so unknown to like, I guess our parents. We grew up very, very sheltered. Extremely. And I feel like the extremes, because I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I feel like our parents' generations were much more willing to do things for like love and stuff like that than we are.
You know that we're in like, so the millennial generation was in what they call it, a sex recession. And our generation is in a sex devastation.
I'm going to need you to explain.
So basically like, you know how like everyone always ridicules like hookup culture?
Yeah.
Like it's not actually happening because I think of how sheltered we are.
I think so too.
And then
I feel like people are actually kind of scared to do stuff like that.
Very scared. And then, but also I just feel like because, you know, we made the comment. That's why
you see, like, I feel like people aren't really about it.
No,
like,
they're not.
They say that they're about it.
They're not.
Then all of a sudden, like, somebody hooks up with somebody and all of a sudden, like, one person's like in love. Like,
they're not about it.
You're not looking to hook up. We're not like looking for hookup culture. You're looking for somebody and you think this is the way to get.
Exactly. I think it's I'm trying to like, because you said something along the lines of like people are like swiping on Tinder and like swiping on there to vibe and all that stuff. I don't even think they're accomplishing that, but that's a different conversation in and of itself.
You might be right.
Like, I don't even think
I feel like they're not even doing that. Well,
I feel
on
like,
my end, I feel like guys aren't doing that, but it's...
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, like, I feel like people are literally just aimlessly on there, but...
I feel like they're looking for something, but they don't know themselves what they're looking for.
Exactly. But that's a whole... I feel like that's a whole other rabbit hole of a conversation.
Fair. Fair.
About just dating culture.
No, but I feel like our generation isn't about it. Like, at period. All. Like,
we don't know how to be about it.
Look at our parents, for example. I don't know many of their generations were really about it. Like they left their home continent, the only place that they've ever known, and came to America.
Literally.
And literally landed in a random place.
Literally.
And just had to like live.
Barely knew the language.
Barely knew the language. Didn't know it well enough. My parents, some people didn't know it well enough to even order food at a fast food restaurant in a way that people would understand. Had to survive pretty much on their own while trying to get an education just to make their lives better for us. I'm telling you, our generation is not about it. At all. Our generation is not about it.
At all. We won't even move for potential dating.
That's what I'm saying.
Inside the country.
Inside the country, just like hours away from our families. But... They move continents. Nah, our generation ain't about it.
At all.
And I do think a lot of it is because we're sheltered. I really do.
Oh, very much so.
I really do.
Very much so.
The parents are so scared of something happening to their kids. And I get it. Totally get it. Because we live in an ever-changing world. The way we're living now, there's no guarantee we're going to live like that tomorrow. So I get it. But like, our generation for real isn't about it.
At all.
Which kind of leads me to like the next question, which is like, if our generation isn't like we've determined isn't about it, do you think we have the qualities to maintain a long-lasting relationship, let alone a marriage?
No, and no. We have none of the qualities necessary. Like, I feel like, and I don't know about what you've witnessed in your parents' marriage, but like, there's like a level of like sacrifice and patience, and like, these are like super important, like virtuous qualities that you have to have. And everything about our generation is centered around instant gratification. And there's nothing instant when you're dealing with a completely different human being. So like, I feel like our personalities are just not catered to what like a marriage is. Like, I feel like that's why so many people are in therapy and stuff like that, because it's like they literally have to like, I feel like, rewire themselves into becoming someone that is like marriageable.
Well, what do we define as somebody who's marriageable?
Somebody who can coexist with another human being who's like, I mean, I guess I feel like it's what's marriageable for you might not be marriageable for me.
Yeah, I'm trying.
And for others. So, okay, give me like your list of like what, like 3 qualities that the person has to have. If they don't have one of these 3 qualities, like these are prerequisites. If they don't have one of these 3 qualities, you're done.
Patience, understanding, and empathy.
Those are good. Because
I feel like patience, we're not always going to see eye to eye. And I wouldn't want to. I don't want to marry me. That's not the point of all of this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want somebody to just fold because I said so. Like, conversation breeds knowledge.
True.
I'm not going to get any better and you're not going to get any better if we're just always agreeing on the exact same thing, just to appease the next person. So like patience, we need to be patient enough to work through. I feel like they kind of lead to each other.
They do.
Like patience, because we need to be patient enough to sit and like actually talk to one another to breed understanding. And once we understand that we're not always going to see eye to eye, but we want what's best for like each other, or I guess the people we bring into the world. And then empathy. I don't want to be with somebody who's not empathetic.
Agreed.
Like, you have to have some level of sympathy. You need to be able to understand that everybody's a human being. Like, the things that work for you aren't necessarily going to work for others. And I don't think I could marry somebody or be with somebody who doesn't like attribute those things. Like, it's just like, I don't care how you look. I don't care. Like, there's things you can work on in life. Money, you can always find a way to make more money. You can always find a way to like live comfortably and live like by necessity. But those are attributes you just kind of have to have.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel
How about you?
Mindfulness.
Fair.
I would say like honesty.
Yeah. That is a big one.
And trying to think of the last one. There's so many that
I agree.
You can like use. And someone who's agreeable.
So I understand the mindfulness. You want somebody who could take you into account.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, take into account what you're going through. I understand honesty. You can't be in a relationship with somebody who's not honest with you. There's no point.
Yeah,
if you don't have honesty, what do you have?
Yeah, it'll be too much.
I would like for you to explain the agreeable.
Okay. I feel like I'm kind of like an agreeable person. So
by that you mean
in the sense that like I'm not going to create conflicts for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I like the day to day like is gonna be very like
chill.
Exactly.
We can argue about something that's worth arguing about.
Exactly. And I feel like there's people who literally like will pick fights for everything.
No reason.
No reason at all. Just like create constant conflict at all times.
Yep.
And I'm not interested like that. I don't have.
I can't live in a lifestyle like that.
Some people like it though. Like and, they enjoy.
Okay, but like then it's fine. But I think those people need to live with just each other. They don't need to bring children into the world. If that's what you're gonna do, because look at all the kids who are in therapy.
Well,
it's like, yeah, that might work for you. That might work for your relationship. But that's not going to work for somebody who's brand new coming into the world, doesn't know what to expect. You're passing on those traits. They're going to think that this is the norm.
It's not.
And that's not the norm.
It's not. Yeah, no, I can't deal with people who like are just constantly trying, just like always picking a fight for some reason. Like, yeah, it's going to irritate me. And
it's one thing to joke, but if you're like for real picking a fight,
you got to go.
Yeah,
you got to go. So those would be my 3. But I just feel like with this generation, like, because I mentioned like instant gratification and like just not really understanding that like things just don't happen like this. Like it's gonna require some like work and some like sacrifice.
Yeah, and
I just don't see it. I feel like everybody wants to either get their cake and eat it too.
I feel like it depends on where exactly you're talking about. If you're talking about our generation right now, like maybe 18 to like 22-year-olds, they're not gonna get it. Not right now. I mean, we're at that point in time where like we've already established we've been living very sheltered lives. We're on our own for the first time. So everybody's kind of exploring, figuring out what they want to do, what they got to do. And that's fine. It's a matter of will they be able to grow out of it in time for that, or are we going to be that generation that like everybody's just getting married a lot later in life, which is fine, whatever, like do what you got to do, but like
I feel like we're going to be the generation of like situationships where people like are going to end up shacking
a lot of kids
they're going to shack
parents,
like out of wedlock households. I feel like that's what's gonna end up happening more than anything. Like people are gonna like live together, and then it's not gonna work, and then like they may have a kid or something, and then
I don't know because I don't know if you noticed, there's a huge number of people we went to high school with, people we're friends with, who are getting married, who are having kids.
But I think that has to do with the area we're in more than anything.
Really?
Yeah, this is a very like.
Well, I don't have any like knowledge about. I didn't do research about this, about like how it's going.
I haven't really done any research. I think it's just more like having like lived in different places. I feel like there's a like family oriented sort of nature to living like where we happen to live, and so I think people aren't looking really to like branch out. I feel like
they're
like,
not.
They are dating within like their community, and that's it for them. You know what I'm saying? And then if they happen to find their person in 8th grade, then that's who they're gonna like. That's who they typically will choose to marry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's more of like, I feel like it's more of like a cultural thing in this.
It might
area.
not just be a generational thing. It might just be a regional thing.
That's
like
what I'm
the more
saying.
I think about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I don't even know if it has to do with just our generation.
You're talking about them. A lot of our like high school people.
No, I'm talking like in general. Like it might just branch out further than just like, oh, it's our generation and our like what we got going on. It might just be the areas, because you go to school in Rhode Island, and I'm sure there's not a lot of people that you like come in contact with who are settling down, who are like, I'm marrying this person, who are like, I'm pregnant, I'm having a kid with this person, who are like settled with this person. But vice versa here in the South, like in Georgia, I was in a wedding like 2 months ago. I know so many people who are like expecting children, if not already have children. And so I'm wondering if it's like, if it's just that societal norm, or if it really is just our generation doesn't know how to like interact.